Smash that limiter!
Hello and welcome. Welcome to episode 62. I just told someone it was 61. I was wrong on that one. Oh well. How's it been, Spliffy? It's been excellent. It's been a stressful week, but that's just as it is. But it's it's Easter today, by the way. Happy Easter to those who are in Australia and in forward in time. And happy Easter to all the Yanks for tomorrow. So yeah, we thought we were gonna start 11, but I ended up finishing because I had bacon and eggs for breakfast this morning, and we ended up actually getting up early. You know, it's really annoying when you're on holiday. You never sleep in. My sleep in. I've been waking up consistently at 5 o'clock every morning since the holidays started, and I'm like, fuck. So, oh, I try. I've been trying to go back to bed, but it's not been working. I've also been in a lot of pain as well. My age is my aches and pains are starting to come into. Like this morning, I woke up, I could barely walk. I wish I'd had my walking stick. Yeah. No, it was my nerves. See, I've got a weird. It's not diagnosed. They tried to I've had MRIs done and all that sort of shit, and they've tried to diagnose it, but they couldn't do it. And then I had a neurologist who was. Thank you for the follow. Why didn't it tell us what the follow was for though? Why didn't it tell me? What is this? I'm looking at it. Didn't? Oh, now it's registered. Yeah. Actually, no, we will be talking about cars today. It is on the agenda today. Yes, it is. Anyway, long story short is I have a nerve issue where, like, quite a few years ago, I was waking up consistently with tremors. Could barely walk. I'd have to use assistance and walking and stuff like that. Got tested for MS and all that sort of stuff. No, none of that came back positive. Couldn't figure out what it was. Kind of went away. The pain's always there, 24/7, but it's like I just ignore it. But yeah, this morning when I got up to go to the dunny, fucking yeah, I couldn't barely walk. It reminded me of that exact experience, so it was not fun. I'm fine now, but yeah, my legs feel really weak today. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but anyway. But so what I was going to start off the day with, Spliffy, is no, I was going to do something before cars. Because usually like these go hand in hand. Now the information I'm going to teach everybody is you do with what you will, but I don't condone any illegal activities. But this is why this is no, you can do as I say, just not in a legal manner. This is why I said cars and this go hand in hand, because usually when you steal something, you usually get in the car and get away. So actually, no. No. Actually, they could be doing it on foot. I mean, it is Darrow's anyway. So I bought a suit from Ferrari Formal Wear, and they didn't take off the fucking security tags. And as you know, these they have a pin that goes through them, and I've uploaded a video on my YouTube like this morning as well on how to do exactly what I'm about to show you. So the pin goes through your clothing and then it connects up on the other side. And the way it works is this is the device that sets off the alarm when you try and steal it. But there's this little spring. There's a spring on this side, and then there's 3 little ball bearings in a cup. Now, when you put your pin through it, what happens is it pushes the ball bearings out, and then they contract, and then it stops the security tag from being taken in its 2 halves through friction. Basically, like as you pull, it actually clamps more and more down. Now, a lot of people do different things, use screwdrivers, all that sort of shit, and the potential of damaging your clothing is pretty high, so don't recommend it. So just get a magnet, a neodymium magnet like this one, real powerful one, just stick it on that, and then you just, if you've got nails, this is easier. And fucking typical. Anyway, you basically just pull it. Now, the reason why it's hard for me to do it is because I have no nails, so I can't get under the lip. When I did it on the video, it was easy because I purposely had it. Here we go, see, and it just comes off just like that. So that's the thing that triggers the little sensors. But yeah, so like as you can see, it's already that far apart, and I can't pull it as soon as I put that on, and it just woo. Anyway, that's how you do it. Use that information what you will. I don't care what you do, as long as yeah, you can. And it's cheaper than buying, because you can buy the actual device that's in store that they use to remove those. But it's like $52, and all these is just magnets. It's just got three yeah, no, you just like spend $5 than that. I got that for free because I commandeered it through like scrap metal and shit like that. But yes, they are sick. I love them. Or you could use the old vacuum cleaner magnets, the circle ones. You remember them? You really? Oh wow. Oh, that's what I've always referred them to. I just realized I haven't even got incognito mode open ready for the browsing stuff. Hang on a minute. Yeah, they're a really strong magnet. What? No, that's not it. Stupid thing. Magnet in vacuum cleaner. That's it there. So that's the magnet there. On Twitter. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the magnet there. So it sits in there. It's a circular thing. They're a really powerful magnet. They use to operate them. The thing. Now the reason why we're gonna go into cars now. So the BYD Shark has kind of been slammed for false advertising. So the people who aren't familiar, the BYD Shark's the new phase thing at the moment. It's a Chinese company, BYD. They make EVs. They've made a hybrid full drive. I've talked about them before on the shows. It's one of these little doohickey things. They're pretty expensive for what they are. I personally am not a fan of BYD, but that's just because I'm not a fan of any Chinese company. Yes, I know China makes pretty much everything, but I'm not a fan of the. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the of their products, just because I know their processes and how they cut corners and shit like that. Anyway, and their customer service is shit. But anyway, I digress. So the reason why these guys have kind of been a little bit of hot water, there was a car reviewer. I've forgotten his name. Anyway, he's done a review on his BYD, and they wouldn't give him a BYD to test. He had to buy one himself. Anyway, so he bought one, which is, fair enough. And on their advertisement, they show that they can go up a sand dune. And there's been lots of videos of them going up sand dunes and stuff like that. Make it look really cool. Anyway, in his testing, he found it cannot go up the sand dune. And he tested it and tested it and tested it in all the modes, and it cannot do it. The reason why I can't do it is because they don't have a differential lock. Now, some sand dunes, yeah, it can go up. It's if you get the trick is with sand dunes is momentum, but this one's a little bit different because this one was like sand/dirt, so and it was uneven as well. So you got a little bit of this going on, and you also got the steep incline, and you also got loose substrate. So it couldn't do it like at all. The Ford Ranger could get up there. That fucking Indian piece of crap could get up there. The Mendra, what the fuck it's called. I'm butchering the name. That's not it. Indian car maker. This thing here. Oh, hang on. I pressed the button so it changed the scene. This thing here, that car, they're a piece of crap. Don't buy them. So he even had one of them and tested it, and it went up there fine. Actually, on the review of this, he was like, it works. It's a good car, but it's just like the quality control's not there, and also you can't get parts. Like he couldn't even service it. Like he couldn't even get an oil. He couldn't get an oil filter. He couldn't even fucking get oil filter to service it. Yeah. No, not this car. He couldn't get one. Ryko doesn't have one available yet. They will eventually, but only if these become popular. That's the thing. If heaps of people buy them, it will come out. Yeah, but at the moment, he couldn't even service it. Anyway, he tested the new Isuzu, the new Ford Ranger. The new Ford Ranger Super Duty also got announced, which is pretty fucking cool. It's probably gonna take over the Australian market by storm. So this is a Ford. It is like I knock them. I do knock them a lot because they blow up a lot, but that's because people are doing things with them they're not designed to do. Ford's a bit dodgy in that they advertise them on what they're doing is fine, but in the real world case scenario, they're not. They're good towing rigs, but they're not long-term towing rigs, if that makes sense. Like, they have the power to tow, but not longevity. Like, when you start blowing up a motor at 120,000 Ks because they're injectors, you know something's wrong. However, these things, so they built the same width as the Ford Raptor, and they've got the same six-cylinder Ford motor as the new Fords. Now, the injector problem is the model before this revamp. So like between from 2019 backwards, that generation of Ford Rangers usually where they blow up at 120 for injectors if you're towing. Now, anyway, I don't know about these because they're brand new. They did fix the turbo return line issues that they were having. We even saw a couple of them where they're leaking like a sieve through the oil return line out of the turbo. Apparently they fixed that, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, I expect things to go wrong when cars first come out, new cars, new generations come out. Hey, look at fucking Toyota with the 300 series Land Cruiser. They were blowing up their cars left, right, and center because they were putting the wrong fucking oil in them. They're putting zero W oil when they should be putting 5W oil in Australian conditions. Yeah, so 0W oil is like really thin. The 0W or the 5W is the weight. It's the viscosity rating. The other reading is the temperature working conditions. So the higher the temperature, the higher working. Anyway, so in Australia they were having issues with the 300. Now this is from Toyota themselves putting their fuck up. They were putting 0W30 oils in the 300 series Land Cruiser, and the 300 series Land Cruisers were blowing up their motors left, right, and center because of that. Basically what was happening is 0W is just too thin. It's too thin oil, and it wasn't lubricating the engines, and so they were getting spun bearing issues. They were getting all sorts of fucking failures, catastrophic failures. And it was because of the oil. Toyota themselves were using it. Funnily enough, Penrite recommended 5W from the get-go. So isn't that interesting? So the actual manufacturer was putting 0W, but all the independent oil companies like Penrite, Castrol, all that, they were like, nah, put 5W. Isn't it funny that the manufacturer got it wrong? Yeah. Because we use Pro 5W30 in pretty much most makes and models. Like, pretty much everything takes it, from petrols to diesels. Doesn't matter. Like anything modern takes 5W30. Yeah. No. No, it's fine with the age and the kilometers of your car. It's fine. I wouldn't do it. So you couldn't do that. So you couldn't do that to a lot of diesels. You couldn't do that to a lot of modern cars. Older cars you can do it to because the tolerances are a lot different. But like for example, I see people all the time in Navaras, like the D40 Navara, like mine, where they do exactly what your mechanic does. Problem is the the engine's worn out, so like the oil rings are a little bit like there's a little bit of gaps and spaces and stuff. You use a thick oil because it doesn't seep through the small space. The oil pump, however, does not tolerate that on most modern cars. So the days of just upping the weightage like on your car are kind of like not really around anymore because the oil pumps are designed with specific instructions, specific tolerances that if you were to do that, you would literally fail your oil pump and then your engine will be fucked. So that's the reason why I've seen a lot of people blow up their Navaras in particular because they're using a fucking too thick oil. See all the time, and I see them all the time saying, "Oh, I'll just use 15W because my car's got 400,000 Ks on it." It's like, don't. And then like you see like a year to 2 years later that he's posted on there. So my car blew up. Any suggestions of what I should buy next? And I'm just like, oh my god. And then all the questions like, how did it blow up? And it's like oil pump failure. And then you see that one guy's like, hey, didn't you run 1540 in your car? It's like, yeah. And it's like, that's why. That's why. So yes, on your car like yours, petrols and stuff like that, and older cars, yeah, you can easily do that. That's no problem. But more modern cars, I wouldn't recommend it because you will do damage. The simple thing to do is just fucking fix all your seals and shit in your car to stop the leaking. But if you're burning oil, if you're at the stage where your car's that old that you're burning oil, I'm sorry. Either do a rebuild or get a new car. This is my honest opinion. Or you just keep driving and just fucking drive until it's dead. There's no harm in that either. But point is you can't complain about it. But I wouldn't go a thicker oil because if you don't know the tolerances of your car, which a mechanic will tell you anyway, but if you don't know the tolerances of your car, you will end up blowing it up. So, yeah. But anyway, back. Oh, went on a fucking tangent, didn't we? Yeah. All right. So back to the BYD. What am I doing back here? We go. Okay. So back to the BYD. So this guy did this test, right? And BYD responded to him saying, "Oh, there's a software update coming imminent." They then posted them demonstrating their demo car going up a sand hill, and they're like, "Yeah, we did it." Blah blah blah. The software works. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, cool." So he installed the software in his car and then did it again. Still failed. So he's like, "They're false advertising. They're making it like this car can do all these things, but it can't. It can't do any of these things." So he's like, "It's a good car, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy it. It's comfortable to go forward driving. It has the torque there when you got it, but there's just certain scenarios and situations you get into because the car's full drive system is based off of software, not hardware or mechanical aids. It's never gonna. It's just not gonna do it right because it has no way of locking its center diff or any of that stuff because the way it's designed. You can't. Once you get slippage, you get stuck. Basically, he's like, you can let your tires down as much as you want. It's kind of hard to push a X amount of weighted vehicle, like a 3-ton vehicle with one wheel only spinning. It's like you need 2 wheels minimum. So yeah, it's really interesting. And the Super Duty, what I was saying, back to that Ford Ranger release. So it's got a towing capacity of 4.5 ton, which is exactly a ton more than the base Ford Ranger. And how they've accomplished that is they've got the same V6 diesels in the newer ones, but they've beefed up the gearbox. It's rated as a light truck now, so it's not a passenger vehicle. It's a light truck classification. So it's lighting. It has got AdBlue and all that shit that you have to do with that stuff. It's got heavier diff locks and stuff like that. Comes standard with fucking diff locks too, which is sick. It's got upgraded suspension. The ball joint is like this big. It's huge. So it to me it looks like what they've done is they've put F-150 parts. So Ford F-150, the big American pickup truck, and they've chucked those parts inside of Ford Ranger. Well, they've redesigned it, but that's essentially the idea anyway. Practice it's a lot more complicated than that, but yeah. So I honestly think that this thing's gonna sell like no tomorrow, and it's at an affordable price too. Apparently they're claiming, so it's kind of exciting to see these because I want to see if these blow up. So, because if they don't, this is going to be the number one selling car in Australia, hands down. It's going to be for everybody: tradies, caravanners, recreational people, flogs that just fucking park at the car park and have the biggest rig on the car park and never fucking touch a single dirt in their life. So it's sick. So that's one thing I will never knock Ford is they do love to innovate and listen to their customer base and try and market to that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Another thing I was going to talk to you about, and I want to hear your opinion, Spliffy. Do you think that people in four-wheel drive should be penalised for parking in the city? Because that's what they're doing. Yep. So in Sydney, it's now going to cost people. Yeah. So they're going to start charging tradies and shit like that $26 an hour to park. Fuck. This is what I mean. They're like. This is what I mean. They're like, oh, if it's your choice to have a full drive. It's your fucking choice. It's like, a lot of people on there, like, a lot of us don't have a choice. Either one, like, we have too many kids to fit in one small car, so we have to get a big van because they're charging vans as well. And basic any like commercial type of like long large vehicle, basically. Because tradie by just upping the fucking car parking. So when you go into a car park, it takes a photo and registers what vehicle you got. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So like tradies obviously have no choice. They use it for their work. And then like, what about travelers? Like people from rural countries that don't have a small hatchback and they need to go to the city for various reasons. So you're going to punish them for just having to go to the city to do appointments or whatever. Like, a majority of people that own full drives have a very valid reason. Not all fucking mall crawlers. Like, and I'm gonna put this out there, but full drives are safer than small cars. When you drive in a full drive, you realize how very little blind spots you've got. You have so much better vision in a full drive. In a little car, you got no vision. The amount of times I'm like reversing a small hatchback out and I'm fucking freaking out because I can't see anything behind me. That doesn't have a reverse camera or anything like that. Like, I'm sorry, but no, small cars are useless. They're excellent in cities, but still in the city environment, they're a fucking pain in the ass to park because you can't see shit. Like, I can't, like, if someone's like, the amount of times, like, I was in like Ray's car. Well, Ray's car's not as bad, but like a smaller hatchback and newer hatchback. And like, I can't see the cunt just to the right of me because the A-pillar's like this fat. Why is it this fat? Why is it this fat? And why is the window slanted so far forward in a car that has no nose? Why did you put a van window on a hatchback? That makes no fucking sense. I don't care about your style. I just want to be able to see where I'm going and not hit people. and you've got the radar technology and all the little cameras everywhere and stuff like that, and they are really handy. But not all cars have them. But they're designed all similar, so it's without all that aids and stuff, you're pretty much blind. It's fucking hate city people. Because it's all them that are complaining about this. I would make a. You know how you've got like a large, small car parking only? I would make a large car parking only and like make it. I'd do the opposite. I'd like if I had the money and I like built a big car lot, I'd make a giant one with like plenty of space so you can fit like a American pickup truck in it. And it would be limited car parking. It'd be like big cars only or tradies only, and like they would get charged like a few dollars an hour, and then if a small car goes in there, I'll charge them $50 an hour because fuck you. I'll do the opposite, just some shits and gigs, and then like you could just imagine it being on like Today Tonight in a car at a fair. This new car park lot is charging extra for small cars. Why? Well, because everyone's prosecuting the large cars. So I thought, why don't we just prosecute the small cars? If you don't like it, don't come. There's plenty of options for you guys. If I was a billionaire, I would be such a troll. Yeah. Yeah, well, if yeah. Yeah, fucking oath it will. Because it's only like. It's only fuckwits to complain about it. To put it bluntly, like normal people that just go about their everyday, day in, day out, they don't complain. Like every time I go in the city in my ute, like I hate it, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad, especially car parking. It's really not that bad. Like it's tight. If someone's in my way, it kind of gets annoying because I can't turn the corners very well in the car parks, the multi-story ones. So like I need a turning circle because it's tight. Like utes can't turn in it. And when someone's coming down, like someone will sit in the spot where I can't really maneuver, and they look at me like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, you need to move. I can't. My turning circle's not. I can't get around you. Just move back a little bit, and we'll be fine." Usually, like they're pretty good. You get the occasional dumbass, but usually it's all right. Like I don't really have too many problems with it. I try and use race car going in the city anyway, or just train or bus it if I have to go. It's a bit harder now because I just don't go, but because it's like hours and hours away. But yeah, I don't know. Like if they're really complaining about that, then why don't they just beef up their public transport system? Oh wait, they tried that and didn't work. So you just, I don't know. I just think it's silly because at the end of the day, like if you're going to charge $26 an hour for your tradie, then guess what, Mister? Your cup of tea, your cappuccino is going to go up, your sushi's going to go up, your macas is going to go up, everything's going to go up because guess what? Like, yeah, it would probably. I don't know. I mean, they park in like loading docks and stuff like that, but like, yeah. 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 It's like that in all cities. All the locksmiths used to tell me how much of a cunt it was. Um, like, because they would have to like walk ages away with all their shit. They'll have to get the trolley. They'll like park like 5-10 minute walk away from the building they're working on, and they would have to carry all their stuff to the building. It's just stupid, man. Like a city is literally the number one place that has construction work 24/7. There is not a single city in the world that doesn't have work going on. This is what I mean by everything will go up. By doing this, Because what's going to happen if this becomes a norm in all cities, then whenever a construction worker or any trade company comes in, they go, okay, so because our workers are going to have to pay this amount of money on parking, we're now going to charge an extra $1,000 on top because this is what you guys wanted. Because it is, honestly, it's all the people that just whinge and carry on that live and work in the city 24/7. Not all of them, but most of them, like the whingers. So there's gonna be a price to pay, like everything that we, everything's got a consequence. So this is one of them. Like if tradies and normal people with like utes and stuff, and they're not going to be exempt because they use the same car parking. So yeah, it's just stupid. I think so. Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's just yeah. It's dumb. It's really really dumb. As soon as you start ostracizing a group of people, it just never really works out that well. Um, mm, nah, I don't think so. Well, nah, because it's a government thing that's doing it though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting. Time will tell. I mean, like, imagine like the hospitals doing it as well, the hospital car parking. If they end up doing it, that that would be so wrong because farmers, a lot of farmers go into the city to get checkups, like old cockies and stuff like that. Or their health checkups and that. They don't use small cars. They all have fucking 4Bs. So it's yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh my god. See over here, if you're so over here, if you've got like you seriously need medical attention and you can't like wait, they use a flying doctor because we get the flying doctor flying in and out 3 times a day. I think 2 times a day. So they use a flying doctor to move patients between the city and us. Especially if they have no way of traveling to the city and they need to have like an MRI done or something important like that. So they do that quite often here. That's all free for them too, by the way. The only thing they have to pay for is like an accommodate. Yeah, accommodation. That's it, really. So they'll fly the flying doctor to the airport, and then an ambo will pick them up and take them to the hospital for their appointment, and then they'll have to stay overnight usually, and then they get on another flying doctor flight back. If it's like an emergency medical, like emergency type scenario, not like they're having a heart attack. I'm talking about like they need to see the specialist like as soon as possible, like cancer patients, stuff like that. Um, yeah, someone was telling me that if you've just got a regular old appointment for health checkup or they're trying to diagnose or something that isn't life threatening, then yeah, you have to like fly to the city or drive to the city and do it that way. But if it's like you need to see someone as soon as possible, they'll do that for you, which is pretty cool. I suspect Sydney and all that do that as well, because the flying doctors do that. Yeah, but yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that'd be kind of fun being on the helicopter. I can't believe how many helicopter crashes has been though. Really? There was one on the Hudson. 2 helicopters flew into each other. The engine out of one of them literally got yeeted out of it. Yeah, so so, so the rotor and the engine assembly went gone, and everyone died. Obviously, I mean you can't really without the rotor you can't land safely. Um, and then there was one in Australia. I've forgotten where. I think it was fatal as well. It was like a one of those little bush helicopters. Like it's kind of like looked almost like a kit helicopter, not an official brand one, but like one of those put together ones. Looks like someone crashed it. So yeah, been a bit of aviation accidents happening lately. Yeah, there's a fair amount. There's there's definitely more aviation accidents. It's certainly been on the rise, and I think a lot of it is to do with I think it's to do with aging aircraft. Because like you got to remember, a lot of the aircraft that are flying today were built in the 70s. Yeah, planes are expensive to make, so generally they'll revamp them. Like don't get when they overhaul them, they modernize it. So you know a lot of these aircraft today, like especially the domestic ones in Australia, when they first came out in like the late 70s, 80s, they were all like cable driven still. Like everything was hydraulic and cables. Now they've been revamped and modernized. They're all fly by wire now. But when they first came out, the engines that they had were shit and the fucking technology they used were crap, but they've all been revamped. It's just the interior looks shit still, but they don't care about the passengers. They just care about the safety, so which I agree. Like I'd much rather them spend money on actually keeping the plane alive and current than my leg space or the comfort of my seat. Well, that's why this, yeah, yeah, they will. Um, that's that's why, like, because that's why Boeing brought out the 737 Max. Um, but it flopped because it had so many. That was the one that started off. The first fault was electrical issues because it had an advanced like navigation system, like autopilot system, and it would glitch out and it would just do this. Oh yeah, people died. Lots of people died. Funnily enough, it only happened in Africa, which is really weird. But anyway, well, majority of the crashes happen in Africa, which is also where they rolled out the software update. So it's a bit weird. But anyway, when when they so the 737 Max or 757 Max, I can't remember. Anyway, it's something Max. So when they rolled that software update, the companies were so nervous they actually pulled the fleet off. Yeah, circulation. So like all your companies like Emirates, all that, they weren't flying that plane. They then brought back their older planes to pick up they were trying to retire, and so they brought them back into service to keep the numbers going until Boeing solves it. And then when they solved it, they were having the issues of the door compartments failing. Remember that? And a few doors just fucking got sucked out. Like the whole so the whole the whole door assembly would suck out and depressurize the plane. No one died from that one. But not that I know of anyway. I don't think so. But anyway, so then that happened. So pretty much Boeing's got a bad taste in everybody's name now. And then all of a sudden, Americans have decided to use them for their new sixth generation fighter, which is interesting. Anyway, some of them aren't even back. I think the problem is the prototypes were fine, and the tests conditions were fine, but like everything, you don't know you can't account for every single scenario, every single situation, every single variation in R&D. A lot of the information you get in R&D, unfortunately, is in real world situations where people are using them in ways intended and sometimes ways not intended. In the case of these failures, they had nothing to do with user error. Nothing. It was nothing to do with any of the people that are operating these aircraft and the passengers on board. It was purely Boeing's fuck up. That's the difference. But I don't know why. I can't say why the decompression issues was happening. Was it to do with the manufacturing? Was there a bad batch of planes produced? I don't know. I didn't look into it. There are answers now. I just couldn't be fucked looking into it. Like I said, it's all fixed now. But the software one was interesting because it was actually a software issue, which you and I both know what software can be like. So you can't predict that easily, and I don't know why they only implemented it in Africa before everyone else. That's why I found that a bit weird. Maybe Africa had certain conditions, environmental conditions, that they wanted to see how it would operate, and I guess it really just glitched out. I don't know what happened. I don't know. That's something that only they know, but they definitely only rolled out that software update because when it all went down, they released a statement saying it was only a certain amount of batch that had this software issue. Don't worry, we've fixed it now. It's been rectified. You're safe to use your aircraft. A lot of the airline companies were like, we're gonna wait a little bit. Yeah, no, no, because it was an update. It was a firmware update that caused it. Mm. Yeah, it's it's to incorporate like fixes, bug fixes, or update systems to allow certain systems that you've disabled to enable them because you've worked out how to get them to work functionally. Because like a lot of the time, especially with cars and planes, like I said, the R&D can only go so far, and a lot of the time you need more time and real world data. Because a lot of these modern aircraft and cars actually send data back to the manufacturer, and then the manufacturer goes through all the data and then goes, "Oh, we can improve this if we do this and do that," and then they will implement that through software updates. And in your more modern cars, um, like that electronically controlled. So that's what I think what was happening, but obviously something seriously went wrong. Um, but yeah, and then the decompression stuff was a manufacturing issue. I think could be wrong. Someone's gonna prove me wrong, and that's fine because I just it's been so long since I read into it that I'm just literally just talking about it now. Just a topic of conversation. But yeah. Hmm. That's pretty old. I thought binary was the first one. Hmm. Yeah, I suppose because ones and zeros derives of open and closed circuit, doesn't it? Yeah. 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 Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because Java's got its own language too, doesn't it? I don't know either. Because I know. Oh, fucking hell! Are you gonna find this funny? This is gonna bring back some memories. Holy shit! So when I was in uni, the IT department of university, you would think they would be the smartest and like most intelligent computer people you could think of, considering the stuff that they get to play with. Oh boy, they're retarded. They don't have a fucking clue. Yeah. So when we started our honors, we had to sit in this compulsory, like when I started. So I graduated my undergrad, so I did my bachelor. I was going to honors, and then I was going to go from honors to PhD. Um, so I'm honors, and I was in this field of science. For those tuning in now that don't know, I have a science background. So so we go into this like tutorial about IT computer stuff, right? And they were going on about like basically they were saying that, you know, we have to use the Flinders cloud system for all our research to store it on because it's technically property of the university and all that sort of shit. Yeah, that's, you know, standard T's and C's sort of stuff. And then he was saying we can implement the cloud stuff on your computer. However, just know that if we do that, you're not allowed to have anything illegal on there and blah, 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 blah. Or you could be in trouble and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, yeah, whatever. I was never going to let any of their shit on my computer. I was going to do my work on my computer, but I was never going to like have access to the cloud. Like I would never give them permission to my stuff. For starters, at that time, I was um on that computer. I was like making, like learning how to make viruses and stuff like that. And I think that would not look too good for them. Um, Funnily enough, it wasn't hard to make viruses. I never used them because it was just curiosity sort of thing. Um, anyway, put it simply, they then turned around and said that they were going about security like things, and they were saying, oh, and you shouldn't use unsafe programs such as Java or Adobe. And like, yeah, Adobe. And I looked at him blankly and I said, how do you look at PDF files? Because Adobe literally owns PDF. And he's like, oh, I just don't use it. And I'm like, but you kind of have to, because all your scientific papers are on PDF. None of them are Word docs or fucking like the Mac equivalent. None of them are text files. Like, who the fuck's gonna write a like? You can't do like. I'm like looking. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you just say that Adobe is more unsafe than Microsoft Office? Like, fuck off! Like, and he just spouted all this shit. Like, he turned around and said you should download Norton as an antivirus. Norton, the king of fucking downloading viruses. Okay, if you're listening to this right now, I'm going to tell you something, a little secret. Norton is a scam. And if you don't pay for their premium, they will purposely download viruses and fucking crash your computer. That is a fact. They've been known to do that. That's why they always pop up with the fucking your virus is infected. Blah, 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 blah. It's like no, it's not infected. You're the infection, dickhead. Anyway, so and then like over time, like I learnt because I had to deal with them all the time because there's always something going wrong with computers at the uni, and you know, I got to know these guys quite well, and yeah, just there was a lot of people. Put it this way, there was a lot of people that doing the IT course that I knew were way more qualified than these guys. These guys had no fucking clue. Like everything that they had to do, they had to Google, they had to watch YouTube tutorials. And I'm like, haven't you done this? Like setting up a printer. The amount of times they had to watch the same tutorial over and over again for setting up the same printer, they kept fucking disconnecting from the server and like from the system. Like it kept deleting itself from the network. And it would happen like once every 3 weeks or something like that. This one printer would do that. And it was always the printer that I used to have to use. And the same guy would watch the same fucking tutorial on how to get it back into the network over and over again. I'm like, you've done it that many times. You should know it off by heart. Like, yeah, anyway. Rant over. You there, Spliffy? What happened? Can you hear me? Oh, he had to go. He had to go. Okay. Okay, I thought the internet cut out then, so I was getting a little bit worried. I was like, what's happened? So yeah, anyway, that's the story about IT, and same with high school as well. The IT guys in high school were always a bit sort of weird. At least they knew what they were doing. But yeah, don't download Norton. I don't know why JB Hi-Fi and all those companies have it pre-installed. It's such a scam. There's actually a what was the background story? There's a antivirus company. I can't remember which one it is, and the background story is so dodgy. I don't remember what it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, you know, this is a prime example about Norton. So if you look, my antivirus virus software company started a scam. First thing comes up is fucking Norton. So there, in today's modern day, you don't need Kaspersky and all those companies anymore. Honestly, Microsoft Security Defender is pretty good at what it does. It gets updated a lot more often than any of them do, and it works perfectly fine. There's still going to be viruses and shit that you can download that's not going to save you. Even the premium ones aren't going to save you because you're the idiot and clicked on the link, allowing it. You basically gave it permission to come in. Antivirus software doesn't have the ability to stop that. It has the ability to stop like pop-ups and has the ability to sort of scan stuff that you're downloading in. But if you just literally just click give permission, sorry, but he says the onus is on you. And some of these international companies that the programming's kind of weird and obscure. Like I've gotten a few viruses through when I used to use Vegas Pro, and I was downloading like templates and shit, and there was a virus hidden on one of them, and it fucked my computer. I had to wipe it completely. That was my fault. You just got to be careful. I just don't download things that much anymore. I only go on trusted sites and always scan everything before I even download it. Or modern Windows 11, you have a vault, which is kind of cool. So you can create a virtual setting in Windows now. So if you do download a virus and you just go back, it just deletes everything. Yeah, you're creating a virtual space. So it's like a certain amount of storage in your computer, like in your hard drive, where it's a virtual space. So you can do developing. Yeah. It's a virtual. You can do virtual computing in Windows 11 now. I think you've always been able to do it, but it's a lot more accessible and easier to use. So like it's really good for program developers, so they can develop programs and stuff like that in a safe spot and test it out and not worry about it balking your computer. That's what it's intended for. But luckily you can also do the same with like checking viruses and stuff like that as well. I've seen some people use it for tools like that. Because like I said, if the virus appears and then it goes crazy, you just delete the virtual space and it's gone. It can't get access to anything. Secure boot's also a really cool tool as well to avoid that from happening. Protects the core, the boot object of everything. Anyway, I don't know exactly everything about this stuff. I'm only just sort of like reading the brochure sort of thing. People that are way more tech savvy than I am would know exactly what it actually is and how it actually works and stuff like that. I just know the dot points essentially. But it's funny how Norton comes up straight away. The only ones that I have ever used that I've never had issues with Kaspersky, which you pay yearly for that. AVG, the free AVG is not too bad. Don't think it's updated anymore. I think it's pretty much shit now. It's still good? Oh, that's good. AVG is still good. What was the other scam one? It was Norton and McAfee. McAfee's the fucking... Oh, okay. I don't understand how antivirus software was created from a fucking nutbag. I don't understand. I'm trying to find the origin story of McAfee. What was his name again? What was his name again? John. And it started off as a scam too, as well, like, because apparently he was like selling. He was like selling people's passwords and shit like that as well. He was doing something else weird as well. Anyway, he died in prison. That's funny as. So look at that. So people who use McAfee, the founder died in prison because he was a con artist, and yet a multi-million-dollar fake company is fake because what it claims to do, it doesn't do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I like to say all these opinions are just purely opinions and they're not factual. And I just called a company fake, and that is not true. That's an opinion, and it's all alleged. And this is for comedy ramifications. And fuck you, and yeah, all that. So it's opinions, mate. And I've said multiple times I don't know what I'm talking about half the time anyway. but seriously, the origin of that is actually true though. He was weirdo, and I still don't like Norton because it is scammy. Anyway, we're gonna have to call for close. So we did talk about cars this time, not for very long. Oh, we talked a decent amount of time, I guess. Yeah, we talked about a car. You know, I think we should raid into. I don't think he's going to react or care, but I wonder if we can raid into J2 cents. Why not? Well, anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you had fun listening to us blabber on about crap that really doesn't mean anything. And we hope you have a good day and night, depending around the world. And we'll catch you next time.